this is Dustin Sherman coming at you again with Revolution Rising with my co-hosts Scott Seddon and Casey Pate. And today we got on a special guest star, I guess we could say, because he's a star. Jerry,
the infamous
Jerry Carl. He'll be a star after this show. Jerry Carl from out in Colorado. Me and Scott both know Jerry pretty well from our Patriot roaming around days, and a little new to Casey. But how you guys doing today?
Good.
Oh, great.
What's going on, Jerry?
Okay, man.
How's your revolution going?
Slow. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We've got we'll be showing some scenes and things like that on here today, but there's been a lot of things going on with Twitter. We've had a power outage situation out in the East Coast. We've got politicians that are stealing luggage, lying about it, and then admitting it.
That work for the administration.
Yeah, that was actually put in by the administration, and as far as I know, they still have a job.
Wait, so what happened now? I'm lost on
Okay,
this.
so a guy named Sam Britton, I'm sure you've seen pictures of the guy. He's running around, he's bald-headed, wearing lipstick, women's
Oh,
clothes.
that's the one that looks like Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's Jason Bourne. It's Jason Bourne in drag.
Right.
So he basically, what ended up happening was he was at an airport and he did not have any checked baggage, and he went down to the baggage claim area, seen a bag come down the thing that was not his. He picked it up and left, and went to his hotel, wherever it was he was staying, took all the clothing out of the bag and stowed it in, a dresser or whatever at the hotel. And he was caught on video doing this. And initially he claimed he didn't do it, and with the video evidence he didn't have much of a choice, so he finally came clean, and he's looking at felony theft and possible, if they convict him, which, with the Biden administration, I doubt that'll happen. But he's looking, if it would be me or you or any of us, it'd be like 10 years in jail.
Nah, you gotta leave the guy alone, man. He's confused.
Rules
Severely.
for thee, but not we.
Yeah. He had no idea what luggage was. He doesn't even know if he's a he or a she, for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's
Unpack that junk in the trunk.
All right.
Well, I guess supposedly the woman whose bag he stole, I guess she said it was, everything in there was like $2,500, and I don't know about you, but man, whenever I go anywhere, I don't have nothing in there that's worth more than like $400. And
Well, when you get
$100.
into cosmetics
Yeah.
and you
Good
buy
point.
a couple low-end design, Calvin Klein, that's going to be $100, $75, whatever. Possibly if she had high-end designer stuff, I could see that, but it's hard to tell. But she has a right to claim.
well,
make a
the
claim,
fact that he
so.
stole a woman's bag in general, that kind of gives you an idea of just the mentality of these people, right? They think they can get away with anything. And I think that he thought that since he was, a government official, I think he thought that he was just going to get away from it and talk him out of it. And but being caught on video, and it's not like the guy doesn't stick out. He's a bald guy walking around wearing lipstick.
What division is he again?
I have no idea.
I'll look.
Well, he works in nuclear waste disposal.
Oh, that's right.
Nuclear waste disposal. Let's make a new department for this schmuck.
Well, I think he's probably been drinking some of it. That's kind of what my thought is.
Maybe.
Turn off the lights and he glows.
Yeah,
I wonder what kind of tax revenue he pulls in a year.
Oh, it's
from
probably
us.
$100K plus, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
then-
anything nuclear specialty. I mean, they can't just take any Joe off the street and put him in that. Shouldn't.
Really?
Yeah. All
Right.
the safety and everything around nuclear, that's special training.
Well, the funny,
I don't know. I think Dustin's right. He's been drinking it. That's why all his hair fell out.
well, the funny
You know?
thing is, and this kind of hits hits kind of close to Anchorage because this guy, him, he, she, whatever, has been here in Alaska, or at least he's been. He might not have physically been here, but he's been advising our assembly on a bunch of crap. So now I want to go down to my assembly and go, what was he advising on? I want to know because if the guy's obviously a thief, what else is he gonna do? And it'd be nice to know. The general public really needs to know what he's been advising on. So
Sam
we've heard,
Britton.
we've heard nothing on his background.
no.
I haven't heard anything on his background.
Well, other than he likes to put on drag shows and
Well,
teach kids how to
yeah.
spank each
Why
other.
is that even
Wear
like
women's underwear.
other than he being a idol for that lifestyle or a fixture? What that's really inappropriate. What he does in the bathroom or in the bedroom or whatever. Why is that being centered around? It should be on his skill sets. Is this person qualified for this job? But also, too, we're dealing with this administration.
Look at Joe Biden.
Yeah, he ain't qualified.
Perfect example. You got the leader in charge right there, Kamala Harris. Holy shit. I saw a really funny meme today. It was Kamala Harris dressed like the Joker. And what the hell did they call her? The Giggler or something like that is pretty funny. All dressed in Joker.
It'd be
face
close.
paint and whatnot.
If she was a superhero, it would probably be the Diddler.
Leave Montel Williams' side chick alone.
Right.
I think America's taken this whole transgender thing way too lightly.
Yeah.
They've been pushing this narrative on us now for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And the amount of ground they're gaining is blatantly obvious with the attack on our children.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody puts these assholes in check.
Right.
Nobody. We all know anyone that has any brain, anyone that has any morals, any soul about them knows that this is off the wall crap.
Yeah.
Everyone is so afraid to say something about these people.
Yep.
Because of how our society is today. And oh my God, I don't want to be labeled. Oh
Well,
my God,
you know-
don't label me as a transgender or a racist or
Right.
homophobic. Please don't label me that way. Who gives a shit? Voice your opinion, and thank God a very, very small amount of parents are finally standing up to these school boards and calling bullshit. You're not going to take my third grader and start teaching them about these alternative lifestyles. Yeah, screw that. That's
Yeah.
the job of the parents and only the job of the parents. Period. End of story. And it's amazing the indoctrination that's happened into our school boards that's allowed for this bullshit to carry on and now be freaking taught in classes. And then all these public schools in all these big cities, you got some purple-haired freaking fruitcake in there in charge of your fourth grader, your third grader, your kindergartner,
Well,
pushing their agenda on them. And I need to stop there because I don't want to elaborate any further on what I would do with these idiots.
Well, what
insane.
ends up happening is you get the politicians that are in there, right? And they start pushing certain agendas, and that's exactly how this ends up happening. And then you could take it further, and I don't know, did you guys hear about the 7-year-old little girl that was kidnapped by a FedEx driver? Did you hear about this?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put
Tell me more.
I'm gonna put this graphic up here real quick,
Okay.
off of
But that's the thing, everybody getting back to what you were saying, Trevor, about, nobody doing anything, right? The problem is, remember the movement back in the day, 4 years ago? How insanely active we were as a movement?
Yep.
3UP, AP, Proud Boys, we had
3UP.
security force, and remember how active across the country we were? Now, a lot of that, it was fucking crazy how active we were, and we were out there. And then Trump got elected. Everybody felt safe and secure.
Yep.
And look what happened now.
Yep.
Now they're ramming this stuff down our throats at light speed.
Well, and based off of January 6th, Mike, I know you know Mike, he decided to kind of scrub everything we were doing because we didn't want that pressure or that target on our back. And we felt safer just to get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
And work in the shadows.
Go ahead, Casey.
So,
That's
okay.
what we're doing.
I think that this is a great opportunity to bring up, it's the diversity, equality, and inclusion push that in our Constitution and I don't know how it is across the states, but in my state, in our state constitution, all men are created equal.
That's the way it is everywhere.
That's national.
Well, yes.
Unless you have a penis, then you're not created.
Or you're white.
Or you're
Well,
white.
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Is with subdividing into all people are created equal, period.
Mhm.
I do want to bring up that there is a nonprofit organization nationwide called Moms for Liberty, and it is their mission to help stand up for parental rights in the schools and across all sectors of government. So check them out. It's a nationwide thing. People need to get involved civically. Okay,
Right.
act local, think global. Okay, this is something in your state happening. You should check it out to help give you a platform to arm you. Okay, there's too many people, like Scott said, just not doing anything. And I know with the 2019 election, our hearts sunk. And then with the January 6th stuff, you can't be complacent. This is one way parents can get involved and have action and see it and connect with other parents. So I just wanted to add that, y'all.
Cool.
You're right. It's funny because a lot of people say, don't get out there, don't protest, the FBI's watching you, the alphabet agencies, fuck them, fuck the FBI, fuck the alphabet agencies. They're all a bunch of cocksuckers, they're all communists at this point. Who gives a shit what their opinion is of us? If they start picking us off, well, we're almost at that point if we don't actually start doing something about it.
Yeah.
We're going to be like China. We're going to be like Brazil. And people are like, don't get out, don't protest, don't gather in large groups. Bullshit. Look what's happening. Look at the change that's happening right now in Brazil because people are amassing together and saying, fuck this. The same thing, the Chinese are starting to try to fight back too. And it's because people are getting together. You got to get out, and as much as I hate protesting, I hate doing that shit. It's not something I want to do, but people need to do it. The general public needs to start getting involved. Us guys have been doing this for so long, we're just worn the hell out from doing it. We've been screaming this for how many years now, man?
Well,
people keep looking federal too. People are like, we'll vote it right. We'll fix it by voting. And everybody looks at the federal level, and that's not how you're going to win this fight. You will never, ever, ever beat the feds. You do it at a local level.
Mm-hmm.
And when a multitude of local levels have it into effect, that takes precedence at a state level. When a state level has precedence, that starts affecting the federal level. But everyone's attacking the wrong forum, in my opinion. You got to take care of you and yours
No, we lose.
first. And like me and Dustin were talking about earlier, we're talking about running for political office and stuff. And I said, yeah, I have literally, sorry, let me tip that back. I have literally considered running for a county, because I live in the county, so I can't run for anything city, but I could run for county commissioner. And like I told him earlier, I said, you know what, I'm done worrying about the bigger picture, and I don't want to sound like the asshole. I don't want to sound like I don't care. It's that I feel my time will be better spent at a local level.
Yeah.
And let me affect my local area where I live first. Then if I'm effective, I'll broaden it out. But that's how you win this fight. And,
Well,
and it's a multitude of people in this republic that start fighting on a local level, and we're going to be victorious.
But-
if we continue to go down the path that we're going down, we're going to get our ass kicked.
So I think what
We're gonna
We
get
are
handed
getting our
to us.
ass kicked.
I think
We
what
are.
ends
We
up
already
happening.
are. Yes, we already are.
I think what ends up happening is we end up seeing the stuff, and it's good that you touched on this stuff, Jerry. But I think what ends up happening is people see the stuff that happens nationally, and then they just give up. I know, like in Alaska, what ends up
Yes.
happening is everyone gets out and votes nationally. I mean, it's like a 10 or 15 or 20% change between a national election, which happens in November, that everybody knows, and then you turn around and you end up, your local elections happen in April. So like here, everybody gets, we call it election fatigue. Everybody just starts, everyone's got lives, man. So they go out and they start doing their own lives, and they start to lose track of stuff. And, it's important that if you're involved in politics that you take breaks and, you do the stuff that's important to you. But at the same time, we all have our civic duty that we need to go out. If you're not going to run, go out and find someone that you can support, get out and knock on their doors for people, go out handing out their stuff. I do it. I put crap out in my yard all the time for different politicians.
Focus.
Both of which,
Yeah.
this last time, both of my candidates won. But as soon as they got in there, one of them turned out to be a sheep in wolf's clothing, and ended up being a rhino. And he's still better than the one that could have won, but he's not ideal. And so the part of the problem is people don't look within themselves. They look at the big global picture rather than what's going on at home. And
How can I profit?
here we have
in the
an
bargain.
assembly. We have an assembly, and the assembly dictates. Keep in mind, the assembly is the lawmakers of the largest city in Alaska. It's Anchorage. What happens in Anchorage happens everywhere else. So whatever, they try everything here. If it works, then they implement it everywhere. So you have the best opportunity to change shit in your state, in your capital, and and here or there, whatever. But the thing is with people come home, they don't watch the news, they don't turn the news on. Like Twitter is a great example of, you're going to get better news off Twitter because it's coming from real people rather than the fucking news. Even Fox News is shit. The only one that's on there that's any good anymore is Tucker, and it's not news, it's his opinion. But
Newsmax.
he's also turning people on to the bullshit that we're seeing every day. Speaking of Twitter, I'm going to pull up a couple other things. So just a couple days ago, Twitter released some files. And the files basically show that the DNC paid Twitter before Elon Musk bought it, paid Twitter and the execs there to silence the most prolific, I guess, or the biggest voices on the conservative side. James Woods being one of them. Now, anyone that knows James Woods, the guy's a Mensa. If you know what Mensa is,
Is it really?
really smart guy. Yeah, he's a Mensa inductee, and I mean the guy's brilliant. But
Like
he's
the
also
1% of the 1%.
yeah, he's a conservative, and he's an actor, and he got basically blackballed from acting and everything else because of his views. Well, he also got booted off Twitter, and some of the stuff comes directly from the DNC. Hold on a second, I'm going to put up. Let's see.
Who's that guy you were talking about You were telling me about the other day, Dustin. The hell's his last name? Alabi or something like that.
Albie?
Yeah, the guy that they just released a whole shitload of his text messages over the laptop bullshit.
Oh, that's part of the Twitter files. Hold on a second here.
Right.
So-
Elon.
Is if you deal with the VA, you have to do this ID Me, okay, and that is through a third. Security card, your any licensing you have, all right there. It's not a branch of government, and
Facial
also
recognition as well.
yeah. And also, what they're fixing to do is start have a side thing for ads and coupons. That is very inappropriate. Okay, if this is a sector of government, then let it be a sector of government. But it's just a data collection.
Yeah.
Same thing with your medical records, your DNA. Everything's going into databases worldwide on your DNA and your health records.
All right, so
They want to know. They want to know what you click on. They want to know what you watch. They want to know what you like, because all of that information plays into propaganda, and propaganda is the most vicious tool alive.
well, see, that's
i.e. America.
So that's
and the
that-
propaganda that all the news agencies push now on Americans that are too naive and too stupid to do the research and understand that, oh, wait a minute, maybe that's bullshit. Oh, it is bullshit. Look, here's the proof. Here's the truth. Here's the facts. And that's what they want, all those normalisms of how we live and what we look at, so that they can utilize propaganda against us based on those venues of that information.
I think people are scared. They're scared, and they don't know, like, how do we slay this giant? Where do we start? They feel powerless, or
Stop feeding it.
well, exactly. Yeah, Dustin, what was up?
so real quick. I know that we covered a bunch of stuff, but I want to cover the Twitter things because it's important. And there was a few things I want to go into that Musk is doing and all that kind of stuff. So I don't want to get off track on this. So Musk basically has released all this information to a non-mainstream media reporter for him to put this stuff out. Now, that's why you're not seeing it on Fox, you're not seeing it on MSN or CNN, things like that, because it's not one of their reporters. So he released this stuff, and there's going to be a couple more days of files that get released. Now, what he's considering doing, and I think that it's brilliant, honestly, is any of the mainstream media that's going to be posting stuff on here, he's going to be rating them. And like CNN and Fox News and all these other news organizations, he may label them state-sponsored media. And that is important. That's exactly what China's got, right? State-sponsored media. So
You gotta love the guy he's brilliant.
he's smart.
I kind of have a little crush on him.
I'm telling you, I think tons of chicks. He's the next Kyle Rittenhouse.
So, anyway, so that's kind of one of the things he's doing, but he's already proved that part of this release dump was also had something to do with Hunter Biden. And part of it was the DNC had reached out to the people at Twitter at the time and said, no, do not post this, stuff because it's supposedly disinformation. Now it's all been coming out that it's all true. And what ended up happening was the New York Post, I believe is who it was, wanted to post something. And as soon as they posted it, Twitter took it down. And they had proof that the laptop was real. But the DNC had it removed. And that was because Biden himself was running for election that year. This is before
From his basement.
This is before the election happened. So it wasn't government officials at the time. It was the campaign. So the DNC paid millions of dollars to get this shit dropped off of Twitter. And who knows how many people profited off of that. I'm sure there's a bunch. I'm sure that it wasn't just Twitter. I'm sure it was Facebook. It was everywhere else, social media that was involved in it. So right now, social media wise, I know we mentioned TikTok and a few other ones, but right now, Twitter is basically your only trusted social media site that's out there. Now, that's not saying that you can't go out there and say, oh, let's go up and hang the traitors, because that's still considered illegal. It's still considered hate speech, whatever. But now you have a chance to at least get your opinion across without getting banned. So anyone that's not on Twitter needs to be on there, because it is the town square. I mean, people are going on there. I'll tell you right now, I am on there constantly now, hammering Biden, hammering Kamala Harris, everything I can possibly do. And I'll be 100% honest with you, it's been like the last week I've been on there the most. The following has gone up. The conservatives are starting to pop up on there like you would not believe. And the news is getting out. Now, here's the funny thing. As soon as he released the files, the first set, Twitter went quiet. Like, there was no liberals on there because they couldn't dispute it. It was eerily quiet. Like, you didn't have anyone on there disputing the claims that were being made. So they know that, Elon right now is the most hated man in America by one side. And the only one closest to him is Trump. Now, Trump has not tweeted anything since Elon reinstated his account. And I think that's a mistake. And the thing is if Elon and Trump were to work together, there would never be another Democrat
I
president.
guarantee they're talking and nobody knows about it.
Oh, I'm sure they probably are.
Yeah.
Probably.
So
So I have
What
a
about-
question.
yeah,
Who was that? Amansa? What was
in
his name?
Mensa,
Uh-huh.
that's James Woods.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. One of the best actors out there. And I mean, the guy's brilliant. He's been in a bunch of different movies, different TV shows, and they basically blackballed him from Hollywood. There's other guys on Twitter too that are conservative, like Rob Schneider. He's hilarious. He's been on there. There's a few other actors on there that are conservative, and they're, you're seeing them come on, and they're a lot more comfortable now that Elon has it than they were whenever the other people had the damn thing. So
Jim Carrey is one of them.
Jim Carrey just left. The guy's a douchebag. He
It was
left Twitter.
trying to symbolize,
Well, he ended up leaving Twitter. Like, I think Whoopi Goldberg left Twitter. Whoop-de-doo.
Oh, good. Right? Whoop-de-doo.
You know what? Let him bail out. Never mind.
So, hey, Dustin, you
Yeah.
never jumped on the Truth Social bandwagon?
Do what now?
You never jumped on the Truth Social bandwagon?
Oh, I'm on there.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on there. I honestly, I think it's not worth. I don't know. To me, it just repeats too damn much. I've got like, I don't know. I think I followed like 600 or 700 people, and I see the same shit. Twitter is bad enough, but you get on Truth Social and it's like constant. That's all you see is the same crap, and there's nothing new. It's just like what I like about Twitter is there's always something different coming up, and the different amount of people. It's the problem with Truth Social, and I'm not saying it's bad. The problem with Truth Social is it's an echo chamber, right? It's every one of us. Everyone that's on there is basically saying the same thing. We all agree, and it's a great place to go. It's like that. It's like a bar that you go into where everyone knows your name. It's like being norm,
Right. All right.
and everyone agrees with you. So I personally think that to have a debate is the way that you're going to change hearts and minds, or whatever you want to say. And Twitter right now is the place to be. I think that without pissing people off, I think that Truth Social is kind of a safe space for conservatives, even though I know some people that have already been kicked off there. But it's kind of become a safe space. We can go on there and spout whatever we want to say and know that we're safe, and that we're not going to have a bunch of people on there disputing shit. Another thing I hate about Truth Social is all the Q crap. I cannot stand that shit. It drives me nuts. It's bullshit. I think most of us understand that Q is joke, as a psyop or whatever you want to call it. So I'm not a big fan of Q. I never got into it. Whenever what killed it for me with Q was when they started saying that JFK Jr. was going to come back.
Oh my goodness.
During the January of 2020, did y'all get those alerts on your phone that were like, this is it talked on my phone? Like, I'm like, how did that happen?
It's a presidential alert.
Okay, but it wasn't the president. But it said like, Trump is working. There's more to be revealed. Da 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 da. No. Okay.
No, I never got nothing like it. It might have been the state thing.
Okay.
No, but I did hear about JFK. The reason he didn't come back is because his rainbow unicorn broke its ankle.
Good Lord.
I don't know.
There's conspiracy theories that have a chance of coming true, and then there's just some that are horseshit. And honestly,
so out there. But
I
there are
mean,
people that actually buy into this shit.
Okay, go ahead.
I know.
Yeah, you know what? If there's I think it's in Oregon at the zoo, they feed the polar bears. They put glitter in their food so that when they poop, they know which polar bear pooped, and then they examine their poop. So quit eating the glitter.
Oh God. Well,
Just saying.
most zoos are probably ran by someone that's on the liberal side of things, so I can understand it, I guess. All right, so
Yeah.
real quick, I had a friend reach out to me last night and was asking me if I'd heard anything about our energy grid or anything going down, and I hadn't heard anything. Well, she started sending me some stuff, and she lives out in North Carolina, and this was about 8, 9 o'clock last night. So her power had gone out, and I guess the base out in her area had gone out. And come to find out, there'd been people out there shooting at the transformers on the power poles at a couple of the places. So I guess they ended up with like 38,000. Let's see here. I'm going to put this up. 38,000 residents without power in like a 47,000 resident area, county, whatever you want to call it. So gunfire damaged North Carolina power station. And the outages were still going on when I was talking to her, and they had a gun store that was broken into because obviously there's no power. So you can go on, let's see, where's this at? UPI, I'm guessing UPI.com, and it talks a little bit about what happened. It was in Moore County in North Carolina, and the base that's out in that area lost power, and they lost it like 9 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and they still didn't have it on by close to midnight last night. So that's a pretty big thing. But North Carolina is not the only one with the power outages right now. There's stuff in when I was looking at the grid, there was stuff in Florida, Tennessee, Ohio,
Really?
Yeah. There's like little swaths of it here or there. And talking to a friend of mine last night, I guess they were saying that if you hit nine different segments of the power grids nationwide, you can shut the entire grid down. That's how weak our system is. So, for those of you, and Alaska's a little different. We're not necessarily, we're attached to the West Coast, I believe, but we're a little bit different here. We're a little bit more protected because of the terrain, stuff like that. But, you know, if you're not prepared, you need to get prepared, because if idiots out there in a truck and has a 22 or whatever, and they're out there shooting transformers, and your town loses power, that's a problem. That shows how unsecure our energy grid is. So,
Shit.
Right?
Our water. Think about that. Everything.
Yes.
If they really wanted to go after us, and eventually they're going to, and just a matter of time. The enemy is smart. You know, they're playing their hand, and they're gonna fucking lay it out at some point in time, because they want us dead. That's why they're poisoning all of us right now with the vaccine. I can't even fucking get off the radio I go on the radio, dude. It's like, swear to God, it's got to be 3 or 4 commercials in an hour, or maybe even a half hour. That's about getting the COVID vaccine along with your flu vaccine.
Yep.
Or you could get your booster shots. And there are so many people out there that are just like, oh my God.
Well,
I just made fun of a guy the other day wearing 2 masks. I was in Taco Bell. He's wearing a mask. I'm like, dude, why don't you just get vaccinated? That's what I say to him, just to like open up the dialogue. He's like, I am vaccinated. I'm like, so what the fuck you doing wearing a mask? You know? But everybody in the place looks at me like I'm crazy.
Yeah.
You know? What is wrong? Like, people are, and it's 90% society.
Here's what you do. So whenever next time you go into a store, next time you see someone walking around with a mask on, walk up to them and work as hard as you can possibly work to fart next to them. And if they turn and look at you and wonder what the hell the smell was, go, it doesn't look like your mask's working too well, and walk away.
I freak out on him. When I see him wearing a mask, I freak out. I'm like, oh my God, are you infected? Please stay away. Stay away. And everybody in the whole place is like looking at me, and I'm like, no, I don't want to catch it. Stay away if you're infected. They're like, oh, I'm doing this for my protection. Like, your protection? I think you're infected. Stay away. And I make a complete example of them.
No, that's what I try to do, man, too.
I can't play that game anymore.
Well,
No,
I think
bullshit.
there's people in the healthcare community as providers that, you know, maybe they're stuck. I know, you know, so many forced vaccinations. This is my body. I'm gonna
Dude,
do
fuck
with
that.
it what I want.
I left the medical industry.
With my body.
That's all I ever knew, because they wanted me to get vaxxed. And I said, fuck you. And I left. That's the only career I ever had my entire life. So you're, if you want to roll the dice on your own life and your own health with a vaccine that didn't even go through, clinical trials. Clinical trials are 2.5 to 3 years, not freaking 3 months. 3 months doesn't tell you shit about the side effects that a vaccine will have on whether you're on high blood pressure medication, diabetic medication, whether you're on cholesterol medication. They don't know the effects it's going to have on all these different concoctions of medications. That's why they typically go through a clinical trial. It didn't go through it. So right then and there, you should know this is not legit. Well, people are just like, here, give it to me, because the government told me so, you know?
Looks like we lost Casey. I don't know if she just needed to get up or what, but looks like we lost Casey, so we'll keep going. But I want you guys to read this. I don't know if you can see it on your screens or not, but I'm going to go ahead and post it anyway. So James Woods is who I was talking about that got banned off Twitter. He just posted this. These are the heroes whom we will forever be beholden. George Washington and all revolutionary warriors founded noble experiment, the likes of which the world has never seen. The men and women of that time made sacrifices that reverberate to this day. And that is 100% accurate. The guy, like I said, the guy's smart. He knows his history. There is absolutely no reason that he should have ever been removed and his voice silenced on Twitter. So I'm really hoping that the other social media platforms out there realize what he's doing, and hopefully they eventually follow suit. Of course, all the leftists are out there screaming that, oh, it's all hate speech and blah, 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 blah. And words hurt, and you can break bones by saying someone sucks and, whatever. But, unfortunately, that's the kind of the world we're living in right now, that, someone's trying to do the right thing, and for half the population,
Well,
they're offended
you know
by
what
it.
the difference is between him and everybody else? He doesn't need money.
No.
He doesn't need anybody's fucking money, and not being paid by the likes of George Soros, PNC, he's leftist, the super elite, what are they, Bilderbergs? Is that what those guys, the Bilderberg?
The Rothschilds, those
Rothschild.
assholes.
Yeah.
Well, and you got Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is kind of the, him and George Soros, they kind of run hand in hand. And Klaus Schwab is just in New York City. There was a picture of him in a New York hotel. These are the guys from the World Economic Forum. And,
Right.
they're trying to change. Here's the thing, okay, so like say North Carolina, they had a power grid down for X amount of time. What happens if the power grid doesn't come back up, or when it does, your money's gone? You're screwed.
Yep.
You're seriously screwed. If we go to a digital currency and say we don't have a power grid that can support 24/7 access, anytime they decide to shut down the power grid, or anytime they decide to shut down your home or whatever, now you're without. And
Yep.
the problem is it'd be really easy to do that. We have forgotten how to trade shit. We don't have the resources. If that were to happen, our nation would be seriously fucked. Well, I would say our nation, but probably 70% would be fucked. The other 30% would be ready to go to war.
Yep.
So, I think that
Yep.
most of us understand just how close we are to, we're so close to teetering off the edge. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Yep.
It could happen like that. It could happen tomorrow.
As
We
soon as they
wake
come
up
after the
and-
guns.
Huh?
gone.
Yeah.
Well, look what's going on. And if I guarantee you that if the Asian population over there in China were armed, we'd never hear a peep out of,
No.
oh, there's riots and there's, this and that and the other. Every nation right now that's up in arms is unarmed.
Exactly
Yeah.
correct, sir.
So all I know is here, there'd be a lot of dead motherfuckers.
And if you talk to any of those people in those nations, every one of them says, "Hey, America, don't give up your guns."
Yep.
Every one
Well,
of them says it.
I don't know if you saw this or not, but in Iran, now keep in mind, Iran used to be a lot like us back in the 70s and 60s
Yeah.
before the Ayatollah took over, right?
Yeah.
So when we beat them in soccer a few days ago, the Iranian public was out celebrating because we won. Because basically, they were sticking their thumb in the eye of the Ayatollah. So now the players, the ones that lost, they're probably going to show back up in Iran, and they're probably going to get beat. They're probably going to go to jail. The lifestyle there is so bad. It's terrible. So anyway, that's all the news and stuff that I had for tonight. So if you guys want to add something, we've been on for about 45 minutes, and there's going to be a spot, just so you guys know, there's going to be a spot in the podcast that ends up having dead air. So when I was switching from us to the Twitter feed and stuff like that, we had no sound. So I was people were telling me on the chat. So I got it fixed. So now anytime I switch over, there's sound there. But it was one fucking button that I hadn't hit, and it's
Come
fixed.
on,
It's
Sherman.
fixed. It's fixed now.
Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, it's always something with you.
Hey,
Like
it's
this
just
is
getting
our
more and more
first podcast.
complicated.
Come on, man.
It's getting more and more complicated every time we get on here. So integrating things slowly.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hopefully you guys can go on and take a look at it. And I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up for the night since Casey's not on here anymore. Jerry, I appreciate you jumping on, man. It's good to see you.
Hey, man, I appreciate the invite. I appreciate the input. And anytime you want me to come in and throw my 2 cents.
Bro, you gotta be, yeah, man. Good to see you, man. And
Good to see you too, brother.
Gotta have you back on for sure.
I'm here.
I liked having 4 people. It was kind of fun, bro.
Yeah, it was a good little round table. We'll have it. We'll do it again, and you know, it takes up. It actually splits the time up a little bit more accurately and a little bit better. So, but I think we'll go ahead and shut it down for the night. And I appreciate everybody coming on. Scott, good to see you again, man. Like always. And Casey, wherever you're at, if you're watching, what happened? Let us know. Hopefully, you know, you didn't get hit by aliens or something. So.
All right.
All right, brothers. You guys be safe.
Biden's sniffing her or something.
All right, guys, hang tight real quick while I run the outro. We'll catch you all later, guys.
All right, be safe, brothers.
Peace out.